You know what time it is. Let's go. Here we go. I'm ready to roll. Kennesaw Safe family, I'm here for you, baby. We here. Let's get to it. Y'all already know what I'm here to do. It's time to bring the smoke. We coming with the smoke. We coming with the smoke. Hey, man, I ain't necessarily in a great mood today. I'm draped in red, dog, because I feel like this might be the red wedding. This might be the red wedding. I don't know if this is my last cup, man. I might as well enjoy it because some things gonna change. We're gonna make some big mistakes that I don't want to happen, man. We're gonna detail that today. Cheers. Here we go. Hey, listen. I named this show It's Time to Put Up or Shut Up. It's time for us to put up or shut up. Y'all know my saying, in Overton we trust. But it's time for us as fans. It's time for us as fans to really show what we about. I heard something today that kind of disturbed me. Y'all know I don't, you know, here's one thing y'all got to know about me. When I come on here, I typically only talk about 40% of what I actually know. I typically tell you guys about 40% of what I actually know. The rumor mills are outrageous. You got to be able to confirm this stuff. You got to be able to vet stuff. People tell you stuff all the time. You got to be able to tell the difference between people telling you stuff because they have a motive or people actually giving you solid information. I got something today that I think might be solid information, and it upset me. I'm going to tell the Kennesaw stay faithful what it is because I believe we're walking into the red wedding. We are walking into the red wedding. Y'all remember how that went, right? Everybody died. Everybody died at the red wedding. That's not what I want to do. I don't even know what to say, man. It's so bad. I just hope we're not making this mistake. I really hope we're not making this mistake. I was told today that the job may be down to 2 candidates. I don't have an issue with either of the 2 candidates. I was told that were finalists for the position. Great dudes, great recruiters, high profile guys, one of which we mentioned on this show. We do a fantastic job. We'll recruit Georgia well. We'll bring home some guys that I think need to come home in the portal. Let me say that again. One of the two finalists that I was told about will do a great job. I'm getting text messages already, bro. Hey, come on now. Come on now. Hey, man, y'all got to get on, bro. Y'all got to get on. I got you, bro. I'm going to tell you who it is. I got you. I'll tell you. If you got my number, you can text me and ask me who it is. I'm going to tell you who it is. Don't even worry about it. One of which I think will do a great job. We mentioned on the show. We'll bring home some guys that we need to bring home in the portal. But that's not my concern. Here's what I'm concerned about. And here's where I think the big mistake is. I've said this before. I told y'all who I felt like the candidate should be. And I spelled that out to the best of my ability. And I did that in a way when I went back and listened to the podcast. I tried to start giving you more detail as to why. Right? But remember, I always said any conversation about the head coaching job at Kennesaw State has to include Ben Fletcher. I'm going to say that again. Any final list for the head coaching job at Kennesaw State must include Ben Fletcher. I just don't know any other way that I can put that. He has to be a finalist for the position. You have to establish you have to establish a certain identity when it comes to taking care of your own. Right? And I'm talking about the things that shape us. See, it's still a lot of y'all that don't believe that Kennesaw State can become a blue blood. Right? Like I was talking to some buddies of mine today in a group chat, and I was telling them Michael Jordan, the basketball player, is much smaller than Michael Jordan, the myth. He is a mythical creature, right? When we tell stories about him, almost like he had never been beat. Right. And I don't want to be disrespectful. MJ is one of the greatest players I've ever seen play. I'm not one of those dudes. I cheered for him to beat the Pistons. I cried when they lost. Right. Like that was me. I was crying when Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars was beating them down and knocking them out of the playoffs. Right. I cried when they lost. However, the truth is, right, that he has lost in the playoffs. Anyway, y'all believe that the myth of Duke, the myth of North Carolina, the myth of University of Kentucky, the myth of Kansas is bigger than what that actual school is. Hey, at the end of the day, any of us are one bad hire away from the projects. You're one bad hire away from the projects. Trust me, as a Louisville fan, we won the NCAA tournament in 2013. Guess where we were in 2012? The Final Four. Our men's and women's basketball program was in the Final Four back to back. Guess what happened? NCAA violations came, a coaching change came, a change at the president level came, a new AD had to be established, and guess where we went back to? 1-28, 4-28. I'm sorry, the projects. Any of these schools, that's why I said in the last show, Duke is still on the clock. You're not elite if you can't replace a coach. Think about how fortunate Kansas has been. Think about how fortunate they've been. How many coaching changes at the University of Kansas have you actually lived through? Think about that. How many coaching changes have you lived through in your lifetime at Kansas? I seriously doubt most of you watching have seen more than 2 coaches on the Kansas sideline. You realize how fortunate that is? Where do they go after Bill Self? Has anybody ever asked that question? Or no, we just automatically assume that they're going to be okay. Like I said, most of y'all do not even remember Billy Gillispie at Kentucky. Yeah, I came with it today. Not playing around. Not playing around. Because you think these programs are invincible, they're not. I don't have anything against University of Indiana. Actually, Yasir Roseman is somebody that I look up to, somebody that I admire, somebody I think is an absolute stud as a coach. However, I remember what they were before they got there. Yasir hasn't always been there. Mike Woodson hasn't always been there. I remember what they were before that. I go back to the Bobby Knight era. I remember the fall off. You think that can't happen in North Carolina? You see what happened to him this year? Florida State owned the ACC. Florida State owned the ACC for probably about 5 seasons. CY gets up off the bench, takes the associate head coaching job at Missouri. Do we see what happened? We're one personnel away, one personnel move away, all of us, from going back to the projects. When the last time we seen Florida in the Final Four? I remember not that long ago where Florida was winning back-to-back championships and people were saying they had the best athletic program in the country. When's the last time you heard anybody say that about Florida? One bad hire away. All of us. All of us. Villanova lost Jay Wright. Where they going? Are they a blue blood now? Is Villanova still a blue blood? Somebody asked me, because y'all say that I just go back too far and talk about a bunch of old coaches and the game is different and NIL and all this other kind of stuff. Villanova was high major with Jay Wright. Matter of fact, hold on. Hold on. Let me be accurate. Let's pull up. Let's pull up the Villanova men's basketball schedule and let's go look at it together. Because I could be wrong. Let's see how long Jay Wright has been retired. I could be wrong. Because there's a point that I'm making. Right here. Jay Wright was the head coach at the University of Villanova from 2001 until 2022. Guess what? Between 2001 and 2022, they won 6 Big East Conference championships and had 16 out of 21 season. He took them to the NCAA tournament 16 times. High major program is what they were before he retired. They were 500 this year. 17-17. went to the NIT, lost in the first round to Liberty. That's what they were this season. Hey, man, anybody want to guess what they were Jay Wright's last season before he stepped away? Anybody? And I'm not saying they won't pull it back together. But you a long way away from 30-8. You're a long way away from 30-8 under Jay Wright. 30-8 under Jay Wright in the Final Four, losing to Kansas. He retires. And you live in an apartment 3B. He retires, and you're living in apartment 3B. Yeah. See, y'all think the greats are always going to be great. I've seen too many rise and fall. I've seen too many rise and fall. What I'm saying about the program is not impossible. It is if you don't believe in it. If you don't believe that it can be done, it will not be done. If you believe that it can't be done, that the best that we can do is just hold on and try to carry on, that we'll forever be the little brother to Georgia State and Georgia Tech and Georgia and maybe even Mercer, then that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. It's put up or shut up time. It's put up or shut up time. And I'm here to tell you, we all can't look to Milton Overton and expect him to fix everything. Some of that responsibility is going to fall on us. Madre, what the heck you talking about, man? What the heck you talking about, man? We don't make baskets. We don't coach this team. We don't recruit. It's going to take all of us to make this program a better program. All of us. We all contribute. We all contribute. Number one, none of us should care. I can't say we shouldn't care who is a finalist for the job. We absolutely should care. We absolutely should care. Listen, I'm going to go through our list, and I threw 2 absolute Hail Marys on our list. And I said that when I called out both of these names. Trying to get Coach Young, Coach CY, the associate head coach at Missouri, to take this job is like sliding in Beyonce's DMs. Do we have a sales pitch I believe we should use? Yes, I do. And nobody can back me off that. I absolutely do. I 100% believe that if you sell legacy to some of these coaches, somebody wants legacy. Because it ain't that many places you can go get legacy. There's a lot of places where you can go get paid. Which one you want? And I ain't mad at it. If anybody takes the money over legacy, I ain't mad at it. But there ain't a whole lot of schools where you're going to get your name on that building. It ain't a whole lot of schools that will put your name on that floor. It's not a whole lot of schools that will give you a statue in front of the arena. It ain't. It ain't. I'm here to tell you. Damon Stoudemire can go 4 for 4, win 4 straight NCAA tournaments. Are they putting his name on the building? No, they are not. They will pay him handsomely. They will pay him handsomely. We got to find the coach that wants to live forever. That's what we got to find. You got to find the coach that wants to be immortal. You got to find the coach. You got to find the coach that wants to do so well that he leaves a legacy at a school for his kids. That has to be on the mind of the person that we hire, because we won't outbid everybody. We won't. The facts are the facts. I'm with you on that. I'm not in la land about that. The facts are the facts. Us asking CY to take this job is like me sliding in Beyonce's DMs. It is. I don't have any issue with that. What I do take issue with is the way some of us have just laid down and accepted that we can't get a person of quality to take the job. This doesn't have to be a stepping stone job. And I say that because I remember when the University of Louisville was a stepping stone job. Maybe not in basketball. Maybe not in basketball. But I wasn't just a Louisville fan in basketball. I was born and raised in a city. Born and raised in a city. It was Louisville everything. I remember watching a football field, a football team that played on turf that was worse than most of our high school football fields. I remember them talking about shutting the program down. Yes, the same program that won the Sugar Bowl, the same program that beat Florida in the Orange Bowl, the same program that watched Lamar Jackson win the Heisman Trophy was this close to being eradicated. Can't tell me what can't be done. I've seen too much. Now we're using NIL money for our football program, signing 5-star kids. You can't tell me what can't be done. You can't. Not with the right leadership. I was around for years. Even with the glory of our basketball team, they told Denny Crum, that Denny Crum, 2 national titles, multiple Final Fours. The Doctors of Dunk, the team that created the high five, they told that coach that he couldn't get an arena downtown. Guess what Tom Jurich and Rick Pitino said? Watch. Now we get to play in front of 22,000 in a state-of-the-art arena that was designed by the same person who designed Staples. The Staples Center, which is now Crypto.com Arena, the same arena where the Lakers play, the same architect that designed their arena downtown is the same architect that designed the arena for Louisville, the Yum Center. It's beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. I go home once every year just to see it. It's beautiful. Waterfront completely redone. Oh, my goodness. Now I want to ask you another question. Do you think that the city of Louisville has even an inkling of as much money as what's in Georgia, as what's in Atlanta, as what's in Kennesaw? Are you nuts? Louisville. What else is in Louisville besides the Louisville Cardinals? How many companies do you think make their home, their headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky? I guarantee you could double it. You draw a 10-mile radius, a 15-mile radius around Kennesaw and look at the companies that are close to you that you could get money from. Stop telling me we can't. I'm not buying it. Stop telling me that we can't. The I can't attitude is the problem. That's the problem. Kennesaw State's a great job. Kennesaw State is a great job. No way we can let Western Kentucky be a better program than us. Somebody tell me where Western Kentucky recruits basketball players from. Please tell me. I know, but I want y'all to tell me. What's the closest city to Bowling Green, Kentucky? Think Nashville got more players than Atlanta? Huh? You think Nashville has anywhere remotely close the talent that is right? I'm not even going to say that. There's more talent in Cobb County than the entire city of Nashville. We have the best basketball, the best high school basketball, the best grassroots basketball in the country. The only people that can hold a candle to what we do are up in DC. Where they recruiting from? Great jobs start with a base to recruit from. That's where great jobs start. Great jobs start in cities that have great corporations around them. Donors who are willing to give to them. I ain't even got to the shoe sponsor part of it yet. Oh, don't let me tell you what can happen if you hire coaches who actually have ties to shoe companies. Oh, don't even allow, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. Again, Louisville has 3 championships, and I don't care what they say. I was right there at the Georgia Dome. I saw it happen. We got 3 championships, not 2. Even our recruiting at Louisville, I'm going to lay something out to you. University of Louisville has the biggest shoe deal. Louisville and the University of Kansas, their Adidas deals, right, are bigger than the University of Kentucky's Nike deal. But do you know what it did for our recruiting when we got Kenny Payne, who is a Nike guy, to come to our Adidas school? Do you realize what that did for our recruiting? Coming off a 4-28 season, you guess what it did? Number 5 recruiting class in the country. Hello. Don't let us hire a guy who knows how to recruit, who actually has ties to shoe programs. But you got to have vision. You got to have belief, and you got to have vision. This type of shit just don't materialize out of thin air. It's not hope. It's a plan. It's calculated. It's relationships. It's building for the future, not waiting until you get the right guy that's ultra successful and then you scrambling trying to figure out how to keep him. It's time to establish ourselves as what we are. Good, bad, winning, losing, doesn't matter. 4-28 season. You're never going to catch the Yum Center empty. Doesn't matter. We'll show up and boo. We'd rather show up and boo. Those seats will never be empty. Those luxury boxes will never be empty. Never. Because we are what we are. We are what we are. This is it, dog. We've made up in our minds. This is it. It might be something to see some football game. You'll see some fair weather football fans. Baseball game sells out when we play Kentucky, but it might be some empty seats. They had to do specials, sell beer, all kind of creative stuff. You might see some empty seats. At a basketball game, I'm going to tell y'all something. I paid $75 a ticket to go sit in the freaking rafters with my son to watch us play Marshall. $75 a ticket to sit next to Jesus all the way up at the top of the arena to watch us throttle Marshall by 30. I had a great time. I should have bought my tickets in advance, but I had a blast. Now, Kennesaw State. I can get season tickets to Kennesaw State for less than what it would take me to take my family of 4 to O'Charlie's. I can get a season ticket to Kennesaw State for less money than it would take me to treat my family for a night out to O'Charlie's. That's ridiculous. If we want a winning program, if we want to complain about something, that's what we should complain about. Hey, we're not paying enough for season tickets. Season tickets can't be $100. We can't pay $100 for season tickets. Not if we want our program to change. We can't get a single regular season game ticket for $10. I spend more money to go watch high school games. We have to step up. We have to demand more. More of our AD. More from our president. But also more from us. You don't get luxury service for pay less prices. You don't. Do we want to talk about the athletic fees now? Are we down to have that conversation? Are we down to have that conversation about athletic fees that go into tuition that we're paying roughly the same rate as a Division II school? Do we want to go back to the tournament or nah? I told you I wasn't playing. This message ain't gonna be happy, but it is right. There's a path for us. Double the season tickets. I'm buying 3 tomorrow. Tell me they're doubled. And I'm buying 3 season tickets tomorrow. We should all feel that way, regardless of who the coach is. Regardless of who the coach is. Every day I pull up in that parking deck. When I come to watch games, I pull up and park in that parking deck. And the first thing I tell to my son, every time we come to a game, even during the A-Sun tournament, I look around and I park. I said, man, they got covered parking and they not charging for it. How does the school make money? We want to go to the NCAA tournament, but we don't want to have skin in the game. Oh, we would love for the greats to come to our school. And I'm here to tell you, the 2024 and 2025 class in the state of Georgia is loaded. Loaded. Oh, we want those kids to come to our school. But what would the outcry be if we had to pay $5 for parking, $10 for parking? Come on now. Hey, you got to pay to park at the strip club. You ain't got to pay to go to a Division I basketball game from a winning team. You don't have to pay for parking. School has to make money. If we love these names, if we want a Beyonce like CY to come coach our team, we got to have some skin in the game too. If CY is Beyonce, Yasir Roseman is Rihanna. Only my one glass of wine. I saved this for y'all, by the way. Every night. Drinks with friends. We are friends, aren't we? If CY is Beyonce, Yasir Roseman is Rihanna. The nerve of us to want those guys to take that kind of pay cut. But we don't want to pay for more for season tickets. We don't want to pay more for parking. We don't want to raise the athletic fees in the tuition. You don't get anything free. Not in this world. You missed that era. You didn't do that in the 80s. Tickets could have been $100 in the 80s. You got away with it. Newsflash, though, I don't know if you know, basketball is pay to play. That's what it is now. More than ever, more than any time in human history. I've been watching for a long time. I don't want to date myself, but I've been watching this game for a long time. I can tell you a few things. It is more pay for play than any other time in human history. So we got to put up or shut up. We got to put up or shut up. We can't walk into Conference USA with no NIL collective. Not with all the high-end graduates, not with all the talent that is walking around from the Kennesaw State faithful, not with all the money that is flowing through Atlanta, Georgia. Come on, Kennesaw is Atlanta. Regardless of what that little girl in the video say. Kennesaw is Atlanta. No NIL collective. No NIL collective. We can't do that. We can't do that. The schools that we're going to be competing against are paying their players. Some on the low end, $10,000 a player. Some high, $30,000, $40,000 a player. I'm not even talking about, here's the thing. I'm not even talking about DJ Wagner pulled up in a Rolls Royce Phantom. I ain't talking about that. I'm not talking about that. But if we're recruiting a player that just so happens to come from a single parent home, everybody loves to say single mom. There's single dads out there raising kids too. Comes from a single parent home that just wants to be able to send some money home to grandma. Maybe wants to take a young lady out for pizza over at Mellow Mushroom across from campus. And he has a choice of what school that he's going to. Come on, man. We all been broke college kids before. What choice is he making? Let's just be honest. Even if the NIL is minimum, what choice is the kid going to make regardless of how good the coach recruits? Let's form it. Let's donate to it. And let's come up with a strategy. When I see the NIL collective, I think about hopping out on that main road right in front of the campus. Look at all the businesses. I mean, it's not even 5 miles, and you got every restaurant you could absolutely dream of eating at right there. Brandon Stroud got on TV during the NCAA tournament and told everybody how much he loves eating at the Flying Biscuit. I eat there every day. I love it. I love the grits. Free commercial. No NIL for the kid, though. I mean, we couldn't get those companies to join. Couldn't get those companies right up the street from us to be partners with us to go to the next level. Here's the thing, man. I know, look, down here in the South, y'all love y'all some football. But there's no better billboard for a university than a basketball team in the NCAA tournament. It ain't. Did we not just experience that this year? I would love for somebody to tell me what that NCAA tournament, what the run to the tournament, what all that press coverage, what that did for enrollment. I would love for somebody to try to correlate that and tell me what it did. It helps at every other school. Oh, man. And don't let the last 2 minutes of the Xavier game go just a little bit different. Just a hair different. One possession here, one possession there. And we advance. You don't think that's worth anything? I do. But some of this is on us too. As fans, some of this is on us. We got to step up and come with it. We have to demand different. We have to demand different. We have to stop just accepting just whatever happens without questioning it. We're better than that. The program, I'm telling you, and some people don't like that I'm a little fan. It is what it is. But I've been living in this area. I've been living here in Georgia for longer than I lived in Louisville. And I was born and raised and grew up there. So you're just going to have to deal with it. I attach myself to the program. I love the program. I see what the potential is. I love the school. It's beautiful. I'm in. I've been kicked out of places before. Ain't no shame in my game. But that's what it is. Last thing. Not the last thing totally, but the last thing on this fan topic. There's another thing that we can no longer accept. And they done this. I'm going to tell you why this business model exists. It exists because we didn't come to games. This what I'm about to show you, this is what happens when you don't show up. They do this type of shit to your team. This is our schedule right here. We're 26-9. Right? Great season. 15-3 in the conference. Absolutely great season. Look how we started our season, man. We got 2 home games. LaGrange and Bruton Parker. That's it. 2 home games. Then we go to Florida and probably pick up a check. Only lose by 10. You got to imagine that if we get this game at home, or we're able to somehow schedule a home and home with Florida, this is a winnable game. Can you imagine what the opportunity would be for us to pack this out? How many concessions do we sell? How many t-shirts do we sell? If we got Florida coming into the convo, instead of forcing our guys to go pick up a check and go play this money game. Oh, so we on the road. Now look, Appalachian State Tournament, we still on the road. We're in Boone. Play 3 games. After that, we still on the road. Wait, look. We played at home November the 14th. That's our last time at home. We don't come back home for a month. We spend a month on the road and we don't come back home till December 17th against Georgia College. And we back out the door to go pick up a check in Bloomington. What are we giving our fans? They got 4 home games through all the way through Christmas, all the way through the time through December the 20th, when our students are actually on campus. They only got 4 home games against teams that they probably don't care about. This isn't coaching. I guarantee you any coach wants to play more than 4 home games in a month, especially to start their season. We got to come out of this model, and we got to demand different. We have to demand different. We have to demand better. That's why I'm saying this is the red wedding, because a whole lot of this shit need to die. A whole lot of this shit need to die. San Diego State just played in the national championship game. Went to go pick up a check. We didn't even get Mercer at home. We had to go beat Mercer on the road. Can somebody tell me, did they give us a home at home? People feel like I'm disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Mercer, but we won. There should be home and homes with the in-state schools. That should be a rival. We should not be talking about Jacksonville State and whoever else we talking about as a rivalry game. We should be playing Georgia State every year. Georgia Tech every year. But if the fans don't push for it, again, I'm going to go back even to the University of Louisville. We have this problem. And that's why I say there's so many problems with Kennesaw State. You're not alone. Stop thinking that the program is just so small and that's why you have this problem. You know how hard it is for Louisville to get the University of Kentucky and Indiana on the schedule? You know how long the fans been fighting for that? You got to get the games on the schedule, especially the in-state or the close games that people really care about. We got to get them on the schedule. No way the 2 schools that are actually really in, like, we don't have Tech and Georgia State. They down the street. They're down the street. But no, we send our basketball team a million miles away to San Diego for us to get our teeth kicked in to go pick up a check. We have to demand better. We have to demand better. We have to make noise. When the schedule comes out, Twitter, all social media platforms should light up about what is or isn't on our schedule and start asking questions about why. You don't get better if you don't demand better. Send our team on a road for an entire month. Hold on. And I'm just going to show you. Everybody is not doing it this way. Hold on. I'm going to show you somebody that has a different business model. Here's the Georgia State schedule. 10-21 in their first season. Exhibition game at home. November 7th at home. Georgia Tech at home. Mercer at home. Eastern Kentucky at home. November 18th, home. This is the Capital City Classic. They're hosting their own classic at home. Wonder how much revenue and how much money they made from the gate. How many concessions did they sell? How much was parking for the event? Home. November 20th, still home. November 27th, at home. December 1st, at home. While the students are on campus, they're playing their games at home. We got to have more home games. We can't keep complaining about what the money is if we don't have any games at home to bring in the money. No disrespect to nobody. We can't treat our basketball program like, I'm not even going to say that because people are going to get offended. And I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to be honest. I'm trying to be honest. There are programs. I remember when Savannah State was trying to go D1, that's what they did to their program. Sent them on a road for a month and a half at a time. Trying to make money for the school. Getting their kids beat up on. Oh, but Lord forbid, hey, don't raise our ticket prices. I need that $9 ticket, that $10 ticket. I need that $100 season ticket. It's nonsense. We want to point the finger and blame at everybody that's hurting the program. There are ways that we're hurting the program too. Watch how fast them ticket prices go up if we ask for it. And we should be. Our team shouldn't be on the road for a month. Our boys deserve better than that. How far would they have gone with more rest, less travel? How much more money would we have made? I won't even start talking about expanding the stadium. That is what it is. We need more seats. But you can't wait. See, this is the thing. Y'all want to wait to do everything after it happens. It's not how this works. Sorry to tell you. Our head coaching position, there cannot be a conversation without Ben Fletcher. He has to be a finalist. He does not have to be the guy. I've said that. No disrespect to Ben. I feel like he's great. He does not have to be the guy, but he has to be. He absolutely, positively has to be on that finalist list. You can't send me 2 names and tell me this the finalist, and one of those names ain't Ben Fletcher. I'm sorry. Unless you don't care about who else leaves. There's always that. You can tell me you don't care about who gets in the portal. If you want to tell me that, then that's cool. I get it. Hey, look, I'm not going to tell you that there's anybody on the roster that can't, be replaced eventually. Everybody's replaceable. I mean, Michael Jordan was told to retire. At some point, Shaq had that, hey, it all comes for all of us, whether we're ready for it to come or not. But the game moves on. So I ain't going to say nobody replaceable. But his name should be on the finalist list. That's for sure. Without question. I want to ask some more questions. I haven't heard anything about Sharman White. We should. I don't know. I don't know how many high school coaches there are with 11 state championships, multiple gold medals, going for another medal this year with USA basketball. I just don't know how many high school guys that's walking around like that. Was an assistant at Georgia State before he went back to high school. Won more state championships. Did a good job of recruiting while he was at Georgia State. Haven't heard his name. Not saying that it's not there. I haven't heard it. It should be there. It should be there. And I'm going to ask another moonshot Beyonce question. Let me ask this. And y'all can tell me I'm crazy in the comments. Hey, man, if you're in Twitter, I just want y'all to know, I can only see the comments on Twitter like after the show. I can't see it like while the show is going. So, man, if y'all come over to YouTube, subscribe to the Love of the Game podcast YouTube channel, I would love to see y'all in the comments. I forgot to drop the link today, man. I forgot to drop the link to let y'all join today. So I don't know who out there maybe wants to ask a question or join the show. But that's just my bad. I forgot to drop that link. And I'm not going to go too much longer. We do realize though that Sharman White has an incredible point guard, KJ Green, that he's coaching right now. Ooh, we sure we don't want to? I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. 2024, KJ Green, incredible point guard. May want to have a conversation with that guy. I don't know if that means Bryson Tiller would be in play. Bryson Tiller looks like a man. He looks like a grown man. I'm gonna throw out some other names that Kennesaw State should be looking at whenever we do land on a full-time coach. Terrell Art, Georgia kid in the portal. 6'7", 6'8", can handle it, can shoot it. Things didn't work out at Presbyterian. Man, I think he could play in the ASUN just fine. I really do. Not quite DeMond Robinson down low, but does a lot of what DeMond Robinson does. I think he could, if they did get him, he could play alongside DeMond Robinson. Oh, perfectly. He could play alongside of him because Terrell is able to get outside, shoot the ball, and do some other things. We've seen some kids jump in the portal from South Florida. Weird thing is, though, there's one kid on that South Florida roster that hasn't moved yet, and I'm just wondering if he's going to. We'll see. That's all I'm going to say. But that would be another one. AJ White, man, look, AJ White was a kid that we were on really hard and didn't come to us. Oh, we got a comment. This ain't bad. And I got some Georgia Tech stuff that I need to talk about too. That's my bad though. That's my bad. I'm gonna answer these. I got some questions coming in, so I'm gonna answer this stuff right here. But AJ White is a kid that went to University of North Georgia. We were on him. We were on him hard, and the reason why I know that is because I sat right next to him at the game while he was on his visit, and things just got kind of weird during his recruiting. And he didn't end up going to us, ended up going prep school, all that stuff, ended up going D2 at North Georgia and absolutely lit it up. Like freshman of the year, he went crazy in Division II. That would be somebody else as a kid, as a Georgia kid, that I would be talking to at Kennesaw State. He just fits what needs to happen in the league, especially if TB or Simeon decide that they're not with us. So I'm gonna bring these questions up, man. What about Coach D Lab? I'm biased as a Georgia Tech fan. Hey, look, man, I talk a lot about Book Richardson and how Book Richardson and Lamont and some of these other guys that were assistant coaches got screwed over. And I'm gonna be honest, D Lab is on that list of coaches that got screwed over and deserve another chance. You know, I don't know that you make him your head coach. I'm pretty sure you don't make him your head coach. But he should be back in basketball. What he did was not worthy of being banned from the game. Like, that's the thing with some of these guys, you know, Book Richardson, Lamont, all of these guys, D-Lab, Andre McGee from Louisville, like, they don't deserve to be banned from basketball like that. Like, bro, Pete Rose being banned from baseball, I understand. You're betting on the game. So you're messing with the integrity of the game. But banning D-Lab from basketball, and you could say, oh, well, he got a show cause only for this amount of time, didn't come back and coach. We know he's not getting hired again. And it's wrong. It's wrong. He deserves to be around basketball. He still has a lot to give to the game. I would be absolutely thrilled if we gave him a chance. And I don't care what penalty necessarily came with it. I feel the same way about Book Richardson. He got screwed. Book got screwed ultimately because Book did his 90 days in jail, did not talk about, they were asking him all kind of questions. They wanted, what the issue was is they wanted him to rat out somebody else. And Book kept telling it, look, I'm not speaking on anybody else's situation because I don't know. You can ask me about me. I'll tell you what I did, what I was involved with. And he went to jail for whatever he was involved with. Even I think that was bogus. But to tell a man that now he got a 10-year show cause, we know that's a death sentence, man. It's not right. It's not fair. What they did to D-Lab, what they did to Book Richardson is wrong. Those guys deserve to be around the game. They didn't hurt a kid. They didn't mistreat a kid. We watched Bobby Knight choke players and all kind of stuff. And he was never given a show cause. He was given another job. It's not right. Yeah, I heard that there were 2 finalists and Fletcher was not one, and I'm upset about that. So we having a red wedding tonight. I don't know that that's true. Just because somebody told me that doesn't mean that that's true. Until Overton tells me that, I'm sticking with in Overton we trust. So until he tells me that, I'm not going with that. Overton has to tell me that. I don't think Milton Overton would make that mistake. At least I hope he wouldn't. But I had to come on today. I had to light everything up red. We having a red wedding today because if that's the case, I think that's a mistake. That's not the name I'm thinking about at USF. See, we're going to need wings. We're going to need really good wings. And it's a Georgia wing over there that I think will be really good in our conference for us. He just needs opportunity. But those weren't the names I was thinking about. But I don't want to speak on players because Amir may love the kid and may want him to be a part of the team. So I don't even want to put that out in the air like that without knowing. But being that, he brought, as Deion Sanders would say, I brought my luggage with me. And as Louis, 1 + 1 may equal 2. It may not, but it could. I was watching last night's show. Hey, man, I appreciate that. First and foremost, man, I appreciate anybody that watches, man. I appreciate that, man. And next time, I promise, I will drop the link. I typically let anybody come up and ask a question or anybody come up and just speak and state their mind or whatever. And I forgot to do that tonight, so my bad. My bad. But I promise on the next show, I typically drop the link on Twitter and I typically drop it on YouTube as well. And I pin it to the top of the comments so anybody can jump in and comment and jump on with me. My only rule is if you jump on a show, man, you got to turn your camera on. You got to show your face, right? Like I want to see a face to the name. I don't want people just coming in like cussing all that stuff. But I appreciate the love. Yeah, I take book in a heartbeat too, bro. Just a wealth of knowledge, man. Like you don't get to that point, and he was getting ready to be in that position of being a head coach before all of that went down. And everybody knows they were looking for Rick Pitino in Louisville, man. They weren't looking for anybody else. And I say that not just because I'm a Louisville fan. I'm saying it if you go back and you watch how everything played out, it was pretty obvious of who they were looking for. Hold on, I'm looking for a PowerPoint. It was pretty obvious of who they were looking for because if you look at it, they found North Carolina basically handing out fake classes. North Carolina did not self-report. They did not take any recruiting restrictions or nothing. They just basically told the NCAA to go fuck themselves and nothing happened. If you look at all the teams that they actually had something on where money actually changed hands. I mean, Will Wade is back in the game. What happened to LSU? Louisville essentially got the death penalty. We fired our coach. We fired the AD. New president as well. Even our SID retired. Kenny Klein was the best SID in the business. And I say that not just because he's a Louisville guy. I'm saying that because when the NCAA has the NCAA tournament and they need a SID to handle the tournament and the Final Four, that was Kenny Klein's job every year. He was one of the best SIDs in the business. Everybody. The University of Louisville cleared house because they had to. The NCAA wanted us. And that's okay. I mean, it is what it is, right? You do what you do. You take the penalty for it or whatever. But I'm just saying, for Book to get a show cause like that is it's insane, man. It's not right. I hope he does, man. I hope he does. Me and D-Lab argue basketball a lot. But, he's a good man. Hey, yeah, man. Well, like I said, until I won't say a whole lot. I have hopes and dreams, but I won't say a whole lot because, guys on the roster. I love Amir. And if it works out for those Georgia kids that are on the USF roster, I don't believe Caleb is still there. I think Caleb transferred last year. I'm pretty sure he did. I think he went to DePaul. But I love Amir. I love what he did for our program. He made everything that we hoped for a reality, everything that we knew we could do. He proved that it could be done. I wish things could have worked out different. I wish when we gave him an extension, we'd have gave him a bigger extension. I wish we would have did some other things to really help him, but it is what it is, right? We have to continue to move on. I don't think that means that our program isn't big time. I believe that it is. You know, we had a new AD trying to handle all this stuff. He got him, you know, he did get him some more money, but like, you know, we gotta be able to increase the pool. You know, you know, there's so much to be said about money and whether or not we pay a coach and that type of thing. Look, don't get me wrong, man. That's great. Increasing the coach's salary is great. Increasing the salary pool that he could pay his assistants is great, because like you want to bring on good people and you want to do right by good people. So you know, assistant coaches, you hear me talk about assistant coaches all the time. I said it on this podcast. We put so much emphasis on the head coach, and we don't realize guys like Ben Fletcher, guys like Pershing Williams, they really make the program go. And that's just any program that you go to, the assistants. And I use this as an example. I love Coach Leonard Hamilton. I absolutely love him to death. I admire him a lot. He is a crown jewel in college basketball, in my opinion. However, you can't replace losing CY. And they felt that this year. If we're going to keep it real, right, I could do the same thing with their record that I did with Villanova's. They felt losing CY this year. And I don't think anybody can argue that. Matt Cleveland felt losing CY this year. You just can't argue that. Some of these assistants are just really good. They just haven't gotten the opportunity. You know, so we may not be able to you know, increase the coach's salary, but can we make the job a better job? You know, can we stop taking all these pay games and let our guys play at home? Can we increase ticket sales? Can we continue to sell out what we do have, right? And show up for our guys? Can we increase the recruiting budget? You know, I talk about recruiting Georgia so much, you know, because we need to. And if you recruit Georgia, you will win. However, man, it is a dogfight for players in the state. If we haven't realized that, University of Georgia is here, Georgia State is right here, Georgia Tech is right here, Mercer's right here, and everybody knows you have to recruit Georgia to win. Can we increase the recruiting budget? You know, can we redo the locker rooms? Can we spend some money to try to make the job a better job? Can we, you know, the coaches' offices, can we do something to make the job a better job? Right? There's a lot of things that coaches need to make their job a lot easier. Especially when we just had a coach that gave so much to us, man. Let me tell you something, man. Being here as an AAU coach, as an AAU director, as a media person for grassroots basketball, man, I could tell you the previous staff, before Amir and his staff got here, the previous staff, it was an absolute joke. We used to make fun of them in our group chats, publicly online, that they were never at any events, all these great basketball events, and we never saw them anywhere. Now we get a staff and we see them at everywhere. But I would also love to see our staff at Geico Nationals. I would love to see our staff at Flying to the Hoop. I would love to see our staff be able to go to Chick-fil-A or the beach ball. Like, they got to be able to get out and recruit too. Those are things that can make it a better job. Those are things that I believe that we should be looking to do sooner than later. Right? I've heard a lot of people tell me, oh, well, we were getting the money together. We were going to go big and give Amir $500,000, whatever we were trying to give him. We can't wait for the next coach to be great to try to do that, man. We got to establish what we are right now. Our fans, the students, we got to all be pushing on the same sled in the same direction. Let's get this program to where it needs to be. I promise, man, I was going to, Georgia Tech, they're trying. They're trying to make the job a better job. I'm not necessarily sold on the administration at Georgia Tech right now. I don't know if y'all how far back on these podcasts y'all go, but I had some things to say about how locked in that the AD and president are at Georgia Tech. At the end of the day, man, they gotta allow the coaching staff at Georgia Tech to do their job. And I kind of know who some of those assistants are gonna be, but you gotta let them do their job, man. You gotta let them. They can't. You can't. You can only restrict them so much when it comes to getting kids in school. You got to let them get kids in school. They got to be able to do their job. But I had somebody send me a DM. I was talking, and a guy sent me a DM. So I won't read the personal stuff. Me and him just kind of going back and forth. But I am going to read something because I just feel like it's kind of a fitting way to kind of close this out. I'm gonna skip all that. So it says, I know this sounds a bit out there. I know it sounds a bit out there, and he's super busy with the NBA stuff, but Dennis Scott seems super upbeat about the change at GT. Fans will flock to see him. Would it make sense to ask him to be on staff as an assistant? Oh no, that's not what he was asking me. Oh, I know what he was asking me. That's a great idea. Okay, but anyway, I am going to talk about hiring people like that as an assistant, though. One thing about hiring some NBA guys as being coaches or assistants sometimes is that recruiting, man, is hard. Like when I think about how good James Forrest is or was as a player, or Dennis Scott was as a player, you would be asking those guys, not saying that they can't do the job. I just feel bad when I see those guys out there. Like watching Pat Ewing be out recruiting for Georgetown made me feel kind of sad, because you have to watch some of these entitled kids in a high school gym with hard bleachers when you know they could not hold a candle to you as a player. like I mean, Pat Ewing or James Forrest will have to be in the gym like, dog, I could beat you right now. like I give you 15 right now. And I believe James Forrest still could. I think he could give one of them kids 15 right now. Like, so it's hard, I think, for those guys to not evaluate super talented kids, but like, how do you evaluate when you were that good as a player? You know what I mean? I would love to see those guys working at Georgia Tech, though, in player development and helping these guys become good players. They just, man, are just super fantastic guys, and they're involved. So, I would love to see that. My bad. I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna show all these comments, man. I appreciate y'all. Gotta find a guy who wants his name on the court. Man, listen. Yes, the basketball version of Bo. You are 100%. You gotta find a guy that buys in and sees the long-term vision and ain't coaching for today's payday. But I'm gonna say this to the other side of the coin. That guy, in the same way when we hired Coach Amir, and those first few seasons were rough seasons, we gotta support. He's got to be able to have 2 bad seasons, 3 bad seasons. It's like when I talk to these kids, and when I'm trying to tell a kid that I feel like he's a really good shooter, and explaining to a kid, it's like, man, if you take this shot right here, I feel like you're going to make 60%, right? Well, 60% is awesome, right? But what if you miss your first 4? 60% is 6 out of 10. You don't get to choose the order in which you make or miss those shots sometimes, right? But will we ride with a coach that does have that vision during the tough times? And that's my question. Will we ride with him? I hope we will. I hope if we find that guy, we'll see and understand the process and ride with him even when it gets a little rocky. You know, it'd be good comparison for where Kennesaw needs to strive for. VCU, great program. Yeah. VCU, what Wichita State used to be. I don't know if they'll reach that former glory again. You know, but teams like that absolutely just come out. They're going to support their program. It's going to be a tough place to go win a basketball game. Like, I'm going to be honest, man. Being in the convo for the ASUN tournament, man, it just like, it was such an emotional moment because it was everything I believed a university could be. Man, it was so hard during that ASUN tournament for us to lose a game. Like, I felt like for a moment, like Liberty made a big shot down the stretch of that game. And I feel like they kind of had us. You know what I mean? But it's so hard to win a game when the convo is packed like that and when it sounds like that. Like, we had the guys with the banana costumes and like that's my favorite kid, by the way. The kid that sits in the student section with the banana costume on. Like, bro, like, it's not an easy place. It feels like the fans are right on top of you. That is not an easy place to come and win a game, right? We just need to make it like that all the time. We need to be a little more consistent. My man. Yes, yeah, you did. So I realized after I read it again that that's what you were saying. That was an incredible idea, by the way. I'm gonna try that. I'll see him. Live period is coming up, so I'll see him. I'm gonna do a show probably tomorrow and talk about the portal and live period. I can name 4 Georgia Tech players I consider for staff, and none of them are named Price, Anderson, or Scott. Yeah. I mean, I can see, man, Georgia Tech, man, to me is another one of those programs to me. And I kind of jumped on Georgia Tech after the press conference because I felt like Georgia Tech should be looking at themselves like Duke, like Kentucky, like Louisville, like Kansas. To me, Georgia Tech has that many pros. Like, when you think about all the NBA players that came out of Tech, like, to me, Georgia Tech has that type of tradition that they should be in that conversation. And, my issue was I didn't know if Georgia Tech actually saw themselves that way based on how they're treating the men's basketball program. What are your thoughts on Quanzo Martin? Been there, done that, already made the money, might stick around. I'm going to tell you, man, that is, man, if I call CY Beyonce and Yasir Rihanna, man, I don't know where I go to name Quanzo Martin, man. Like, Atlanta would love him. I'll say that. The city would automatically connect with him. He would be a giant amongst men here, I think. He would be a giant amongst men. And if he does get the job, I know he's not necessarily an Atlanta guy, but if he gets the job, man, you put together the right staff with that guy, man, it can be magic. It can be magic. I don't know if he does that, especially just coming off of Missouri. I don't know if he does that, but hey, man, listen, you know me. Make him tell you no. I know that name got floated. I don't know where that came from, but like, hey, man, make him tell you no. Hey, shoot your shot. Man, if Milton Overton is on here, man, slide in the DMs, man. Shoot your shot. Like, ain't nothing wrong with kicking the tires and seeing if somebody like that is interested. To me, that's a program changer. So, yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying. Georgia Tech got dudes. But listen, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow night. I think we're gonna talk portal tomorrow night, or either that, or I may show another interview. If I don't talk portal and try to talk about some kids that I would go after in the portal after what we just lost, I may talk about another interview. I got a interview with Yasir Roseman. I just want y'all to get to know some of these guys and understand the greatness of some of these names. Man, I gotta show y'all the CY interview. I don't. We love him so much in this city, and I just want to show y'all why, man. I might do CY interview tomorrow, but either way, we'll figure it out. I'll post it. We'll get to it, man. Hey, man, y'all have a great night. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming on. I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll see y'all. Oh, wait, hold on. We ain't leaving without this. We're not leaving without this. Hold on. Hold on. We got to go out right. Let's go. Cheers. With the arrows.